In this episode of the weekly Shared Security Show, my top 3 tips for staying private while you travel. Spring and summer are upon us, and that means it's time for some much needed vacation time with friends and family. But this also means that you need to be aware of data privacy and how to protect your laptops, smartphones, and key fobs while traveling. Airports and other public areas can often be targeted by attackers looking to gain access to your devices through their wireless signals. So instead of worrying about disabling or turning off wireless functions, it's so much easier to place them in a Faraday bag when they're not being used. And if you want the best protection that you can get, you want to be using Silent Pocket's premium Faraday bag product line that blocks all wireless signals. So don't forget to get yourself a Faraday bag before you head out on your vacation. And right now, you can use discount code SHAREDSECURITY and receive 10% off your order during checkout at silentpocket.com.
Is your team starting to show signs of fatigue from traditional security awareness compliance training, or from phishing assessments that target them for those teachable moments? As we've seen in recent news, these kinds of training are having a negative impact on corporate culture, and they're really not all that effective. So there has to be a better way. ClickArmor is the first gamified learning platform that helps build a self-defending team through engaging learning challenges and exercises. Its unique lesson templates, built with proven gamification techniques, let people learn and exercise important defensive concepts in a safe and fun environment. Whether you need to quickly deploy a training solution that gets people to stop clicking on things immediately, or you've got your own boring content that needs to be put into a more interesting user experience, ClickArmor can help. So go to clickarmor.ca/sharedsecurity to learn how to build a self-defending team.
Many of you listening to this episode are either on spring break right now or are planning to be. Yep, we're still in a pandemic, but we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, so travel and public events are going to start coming back sooner than you think. And you've probably seen and heard recent news stories talking about how hackers are trying to target you and your data while you travel or on vacation. Now, we've talked a lot about protecting yourself from these threats on this podcast, but what we don't hear a lot about is what we should all be doing to protect our privacy from each other. What I mean is that in public spaces, there are people always around us. Yes, even if we are socially distanced for now. And 99.9% of people have no malicious intent to target us specifically, yet we sometimes unintentionally become victims because of the things we say or do in a public space. So having said that, I want to share with you my 3 top tips for protecting your privacy while you're in public as we slowly get ourselves out of the pandemic this year. First, be aware of what you talk about over the phone or with others while in public spaces. I can't tell you how many times I've overheard private conversations while waiting for a flight at the airport. In some of these conversations, I was able to hear full social security numbers and credit card numbers. So that means you should probably not order something over the phone or discuss personal details about your medical history with your doctor while other people are around you. Go somewhere private to have conversations like these. Along with that, be cautious pulling out your wallet or purse where you may unintentionally show credit cards, cash, or other personal items. Other people can learn a great deal about you by observation, and you could potentially become a target for a thief or pickpocket. My second tip is to use your laptop or smartphone in an area without a lot of people around, or use a privacy screen, especially if you are working on something private or sensitive. Business travelers are the worst offenders, especially on airplanes. So depending on what Netflix show or movie you might be watching, think about if you want the entire airplane to also be watching that same show or movie with you. Check out our show notes for links for a few recommended mobile and laptop privacy screens. And my last tip, if you're renting a car, don't plug your smartphone into the USB port of the car. Most cars will auto-sync all the contacts, text messages, and other data on your device automatically, and if you forget to delete it, the rental car company and potentially the next renter will have access to your private information you probably don't want strangers to see. As always, be aware of your surroundings and don't forget that using common sense will help you stay more private in your travels this year. That's all for this week's show. Be sure to follow the Shared Security Show on Twitter and Instagram for the latest news and show updates. If you like this episode, please hit that like and subscribe button, and please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast listening app. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for another episode of the Shared Security Show.